Hi, everyone. I'm just waiting for 2 more minutes to see if more people will join because I don't want to start and then later realize that most of us have missed some of the important information that I've already given. But first of all, I would like to know, do you hear me? Okay, that's good. Okay, good, good, good. All right, very good. Let's start at 6:05, okay? I mean, you know our people, Africans are never on time, so okay. I think we've waited long enough so we can start. First of all, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's workshop. I'm honestly so excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for your respect. Okay, so I will start by telling you a little bit about who I am, and then we can dive into what we are actually gathered here today for. So, my name is Princess Benido. I'm originally from Ghana. I've been in Lithuania for 6 years now. I'm married to a Lithuanian and I have a Lithuanian child. I also have a business here. I create content as well. I can't leave that part out. I do social media a lot, mostly to share my experiences living abroad, the things I've learned, things I wish I did differently, things I wish someone told me even before I came here in the first place. Yeah. And the plan was to just share my experiences. There was like nothing so serious about it. But then people started messaging me, Africans and actually Ghanaians and Nigerians in particular. They started messaging me. They wanted to find out how to come to Lithuania, the legal ways, how life is in Lithuania. I get like at least 20 messages a day, just people asking how to come. I try to answer a lot of them, but at some point I just couldn't because I also have things that I'm doing every day. And it's quite difficult if you try to answer everyone like that. So I thought, okay, how can I possibly give everyone the best answer? Or how can I possibly support everyone and not lose myself in the process? So I decided to organize this workshop to get to it's one of the reasons I added the question that you tell me what you want to learn or what question you have about Lithuania to the workshop registration form because I wanted to understand exactly how I could help you. Of course, I'm not here to give like personalized guidance because everybody's situation is different, but I am here to give you clarity. Today is mostly to give you clarity so that if you decide to come here, you have informed decision about how to come. Like moving abroad alone is quite difficult. So it's important that you do it informed. So after all the answers I got from the form you submitted, I realized that there were some quite similar questions. So I grouped the questions and that's how I'll answer it. I'll answer the questions according to the groups, like how I categorized the questions. Again, when you registered for the event, I realized that many of you shared your country, timeline, and questions. I mean, timeline in terms of when you plan to come to Lithuania. Some of you wanted to come this year, others next year, and so on and so forth. I noticed a strong pattern, especially from Nigerians and Ghanaians, and I've structured today's session around those patterns. I really hope it helps. Okay, so now let's explain this. The realities of relocating to Lithuania, the legal pathways, then what settling here actually is. Mm, oh, sorry, I really don't want to get distracted, but then again, I can't really completely ignore the comments you are leaving. This is my first live ever. I honestly have no idea how to record this session. I hope it's recording on its own. I don't know how to record it because it's my first. Oh, so I see some questions coming. Yeah, so let's hold on with the questions for now. I'll answer them a bit later, okay? But yeah, about the recording thing, I think YouTube is automatically recording. I really hope it's automatically recording, else it's going to be bad. Yeah, I hope so. So like I was saying, I will explain the realities of relocating to Lithuania, the legal pathways, then what settling here actually is like. Again, I want to remind you that this is not to answer individual questions. Instead, I'll explain patterns that apply to most of the questions that I got while you guys were submitting your forms. Because personal situations are best handled one-on-one. That's what I think. So today I'll just focus on clarity, not detailed procedures. All right. I hope you understand. I got like um I got like 500 responses. So just imagine if I want to answer everyone one by one, those 500 questions, come on. There's no way we could finish here today, right? Okay, so migration reality in 2026. Let's start with the truth. It's important. Lithuania, just like many European countries, are tightening the immigration laws. because when I came here in 2020. It was way easier to come than it is right now. They are just changing the rules very fast. That doesn't mean that it's impossible to come. It just means using shortcut is risky. Like not everyone is qualified and agents usually overshare the possibilities. Then many people just arrive unprepared. Others, the expectations of others don't always match the reality as well. See, let me give you an example. So I met this guy. I don't want to give too much details because like he told me that in confidentiality, so I don't want to disclose everything here. Yeah, I met this guy. He's from Africa. He didn't even have passport when he was in Africa. Then he met this agent. The guy promised to bring him to Europe. The agent promised to bring him to Europe, and he agreed to come. You don't even have passport, so like how do you think it's even possible? Well, he agreed to come. He gave all of his life savings to this agent, even took money from other people to give to this agent. And guess what? The agent did not even send him to an European Union country. He sent him to a country that is not in EU. I mean, by EU, you understand that it's European Union, right? He sent him to a country that was not EU, even though it's in the Europe continent, but it is not in EU, like European Union. So he took him there, and the moment this African guy got there, he realized that no, I have been scammed. But the agent already took his money. The moment they go to that country's airport, the agent took all of the guy's money. So now this African guy didn't have money to go back home. But then again, he couldn't stay in that country because he wanted to go to European Union, right? He didn't just want to go to any country. I mean, come on, he would have stayed in his country. So he was stranded. And at some point, they had to move him and some other illegal immigrants to the actual EU, to Lithuania illegally. So right now he's here in Lithuania, he's illegal, he's not able to go back home, but then he cannot actually legally work in Lithuania. So you see the situation. For me, I always there are a lot of good agents, right? But if you have joined this live session, I believe that you are educated. So if you would follow any agent, if you would listen to any agent, just make sure to do your research. Whatever the agent tells you, make sure to double check the facts. Like look for so many sites to double check what they have told you, all the dreams they've told you, even before making any payment. Because these agents, most of them, they just want their money. So they will say whatever they will do to get the little money you've gathered for yourself. I am really against shortcuts. I believe that in life, everything you do with shortcuts turns out with bad outcomes. So if you are coming to Lithuania, just do it the smart way. I wouldn't say the hard way, but then the smart way and the most informed way possible. Okay, so there are so many legal pathways to move to Lithuania, like a lot of them. But then each suits different people. I'll try to break down a little bit, and I hope that at least those of us that have joined today, you get answers to your situation in a way. The first route is the study route, and it's actually the route that most people use. I came here with the study route, so it's the most common one. And this route is not for everyone. Let's be honest. If you don't have money and you want to come and study in Europe, how 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 is that even possible? How would that be possible? So it's mostly for people that can afford tuition. And often people misunderstand this for work, like work routes. They think that, oh, I could come to Lithuania or I could come to Europe with a student route or study route, and then like I'm magically going to become a worker. It doesn't really work that way. So this route, you need to have money, enough money to pay for your school fees, to pay for your accommodation, to be able to support yourself until you find a job. Yes, there are scholarships. And the scholarship thing, I mean, you know, we are Africans, right? Here in EU, it's mostly easy to get scholarship, but in Africa, I mean, I'm coming from Ghana, and I have a lot of Nigerian friends too, so I know that it could be quite difficult, especially for bachelor students. For master students, I know that it could be easy to get scholarship, but for the bachelor students, you have most times you have to be like the best student or something to get the scholarship. So there is scholarship, but if you are really desperate about it, or if you really see an opportunity somewhere here and you really want to come, then the most realistic way is to have enough money. And even for the scholarship, you still need to have a little money for yourself, right? Not just hoping that like someone somewhere will completely cover everything. So yeah, the study route, please, you need to be able to sponsor or have someone to sponsor you. So it's mostly for those that can afford tuition. And then we have the work permit. So the the work permit, please, it requires an actual job. I've seen a lot of people send me DMs and tell me that, oh, we spoke to this agent and they said they would help us to come here, even though it's not an actual job, but they have a work around it. Why do you want to do that? Like, why? Why do you want to leave Africa so bad? If not found a legal way to come, then stay there and try to figure things out and find a legal way to come. I am really against shortcuts. I know that some people are lucky, shortcuts work for them, but don't rely on luck. Like, do things the actual way. If you have not really figured out how to come, if the path is not really clear, if you've not really secured a job, and someone is telling you, give me money, I'll give you like some document, please don't come, just stay home. Like, there are still so many opportunities back home, so don't come here if the path is not very, very clear. So the work permit, please, you need an actual job. You need an actual work permit, actual work contract. If someone says otherwise, you need to think twice. Don't go giving your money. Don't be that guy, that African guy who gave his money to the agent and now he can't even go back home. For 5 years now, he's not even spoken to his family. Don't be like that. If the path is not clear, please stay back home. You are not eating stones there, you are eating food. Don't come here and be treated like an animal. This is what I have to tell you. And like I've realized that most people also underestimate the process. They just think that, oh, like when I speak to this employer and the employer agrees to employ me, that's it. Like in my language, we would say a fact, like it has I don't even know how to translate it to English. Like it has succeeded. No, no. Like I will get into details because I realize that most of you ask this questions around it. So I'll get into details later. And then there is the business and self-employment route. So this also requires capital and structure. It is not a shortcut. Like I said before, like if you come to Europe with a shortcut, you may find yourself wanting. So it's also not a shortcut because most times authorities would actually assess the seriousness of the business. I have a business and I actually sponsor some of my workers. So to even get the work permit for them, the amount of documents that I will have to submit to the migration department is not easy at all. Excuse me, I need to. So, yeah, I need to submit actual legit documents to the migration department, documents proving that this is a business that operates, makes money, and can actually afford to pay someone's salary. So yeah, this is also not a shortcut, but if you have money, of course, it's also a route that you can explore. And then we have the family reunification. So that also applies to specific cases. But then again, you have to be careful because I'll give you an example again. I have this friend, when you have like a close relative or you have like a legit relationship with somebody in Europe and their situation allows you to come, you can of course come, but you can't just come like that. You have to show proof that indeed this person, you are really related to this person, and there is a reason for you to come and depend on them. This friend of mine, her sister had given birth, and her sister was married to an European. So she thought that just because her sister is married to an European and has given birth, it is okay, or it would immediately help with the approval of her visa. So she applied. She applied 3 times and she was rejected 3 times because just because her sister was married to an European and has given birth did not give or did not resonate well enough with the migration department to approve her visa or give her visa to come to Europe. But if, for example, her husband were here and her husband had a purpose, like a reason enough. For example, if he was doing his masters, then yeah, she could come and depend on him. And even that, I'll give you more example. Like I'll give you another example later because I'll touch more on this topic a bit later. And then there is the EU blue card as well. So moving from the family reunification, we come to the EU blue card route. Uh, okay, sure. I'm trying to read your questions here, and like these questions that I'm reading, I'm not going to answer them. I will try to answer the ones I've already submitted, and if there is time, then I'll answer these ones. Okay. Yeah. So the EU blue card. So this one is for highly skilled professionals. Like very strong qualification is required. I literally know someone who came here. He's a programmer. He got the work straight from Ghana. They sponsored him to come here. He's living here, and he brought his wife. And now his wife is also living here. His wife didn't have a reason to come, so his wife is solely depending on the fact that he's a highly skilled worker in Lithuania. And the company that he's working for actually rented a place for him, and he's living there. So he's literally having a very good life. So this option is also a possibility, but you need to be highly skilled. Yep. Then there is the seasonal work as well. So the seasonal work is temporary. It is not permanent. What example can I cite? For example, a company is, let's assume that there is this fishing company in Lithuania that at some point they need a lot of fishermen. So they could literally have their agreement with the Lithuanian government to bring in more non-EU citizens to come and work, but for a very short period of time or for like a period of time. And even let's say you're a flight attendant, you're passing through, you want to like, just seasonal work. You're not living here for a long time. So this one in particular is it's very short. It's not long at all. It's not your permanent solution. Okay, now let's move on to the documents you need. The documents you need, there are a lot of documents. Like it literally depends on your situation. So I cannot sit here right now and tell you that, hey, all of you need this document, you need this document. But there is this particular document everyone needs. So that is the purpose document. The purpose document. The purpose document, I mean, it already explains itself. The purpose document is the the actual reason, the main reason you want to come to Lithuania. So it could be like work, it could be studies, it could be family reunification, it could be because you are highly skilled. So this one is the most important one. All other documents are just supporting this particular document. Let's assume that you have billions in your bank account and you have medical certificates, you have what? Travel insurance, travel itinerary, but you don't have a reason to come to Lithuania. Why would they give you why would they give you visa or temporary residence permit? So the purpose document is the most important one. You always need to have a reason to be here. I'll give another example. So I know this guy, he came here for tourism, and then he met a Lithuanian woman. She impregnated her, and when her visa expired, he didn't want to go back home. But he couldn't really prove his reason to be here. So guess what? They sent him back home. So the even though he was pregnant with the Lithuanian woman was pregnant for him, but for some reason I don't know how he was not able to prove that he I mean it was not like a physical child, it was still pregnancy and they were not married. So well he couldn't really prove it, so they sent him back home. The purpose document is extremely important. Uh, Okay, yeah. So, Faith, I will reply to your question later if I am done with everything I want to say and there is still time. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Like I said before, today I'm just giving clarity, not step-by-step instructions. The detailed process depends on your personal situation, right? So let's move forward to settling in Lithuania, the real life. Moving to Lithuania is one part, but settling is also another real challenge. To be honest, right now, I will say that I'm still struggling to settle in. I'm not fully settled. Just imagine that I was born in Ghana, did everything in Ghana, and I have to come and live here. Like it's completely different. The way people look are different, their color, their the way they like everything is just very different. So I'm still struggling to fit in, to settle. That's why I thought I should share a bit of this with you. So about settling in, first challenge is housing. Okay. So housing is very, very, very competitive to get an apartment here in Lithuania. And it's not just that it's competitive. Just because you are black, it could be difficult to get that as could be difficult to get apartment as well. It's not because they are racist. No. It's not because they're not giving you the apartment or they're not renting it out to you because they're racist. It's just that they prefer locals. You don't understand the language. So if there is a problem, how would the landlord communicate with you? Just to not deal with all these hardships, they prefer to just give it to somebody that they can easily communicate with. And aside that it's difficult to even get it in the first place. After you get it, you have to pay deposits. Mm, okay. So Oluwa san, I would like I said before, just hold on, okay? Yeah, after you get the housing, you have to pay deposits. And the deposit, depending on the person, you can pay like um someone is telling me to kindly focus on study. Okay, I understand that you want me to focus on study, but other people also want to know other things because, like I said before, this is just to give you clarity, not step by step instructions. And about 500 people registered. Everyone submitted. Just because there are like 50 people here doesn't mean that I could tell who wants to listen to what. So I made this presentation based on the questions that I received from you. Okay, so bear with me, please. Like I was saying before, the deposit, depending on the landlord, you could pay like 1 or 2 months deposit. So aside the fact that you pay for the rent, you have to pay deposit as well. Most people don't know this. So when they come and they realize that they have to pay deposit, then they find themselves wanting. And then there is scams. Like scams really, really exist. Yeah, right. Okay, so there are scams also. I see scam posts on Facebook all the time. And personally, I have been scammed before. I literally went to rent this place. I wanted to use it for something in particular, but then the laws in Lithuania didn't really allow that because it's a long story. At the end of the day, the landlord refused to give me back my deposit. So I don't have the deposit. And the only way for me to get a deposit is to take him to court. But do I really want to go to court? It's a story for another day. Considering I'm a foreigner here, I don't know. So the scam thing, it also exists, but of course there are sites that you can use to find actual places to rent, and there are agents that also help. Personally, I used agents like twice to help me get like a good place to rent. So there is that as well. And then there is paperwork too. There is this thing called declaration of place of residence. So just because you rented a place and you have an agreement with the landlord doesn't mean that you can use that premises or that place, that residential place, to register as your place of residence or declare it as your place of residence. Some landlords actually ask for extra money if you have to use that place for that. Then we have jobs. Okay, so this one is a real hassle. When I first came to Lithuania, my coordinator literally told me that getting a job in Lithuania is like getting an achievement because it could be very difficult to get a job here. See, I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I just want you to know the reality. And if you decide to come, I want you to know what you are walking into. I don't want to sell you any false hopes or make you feel like here is heaven. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's just another country, right? So getting a job here is not the easiest thing, and language matters more than most people think or expect. Personally, when I came, I didn't take the language seriously, and I really, really regretted. So even if the job that you do does not require you to speak the language, you still need it for like just to be able to communicate with your colleagues, to be able to feel comfortable at your workplace. Like the language is really a thing. So if you ever come to Lithuania, the advice I'll give to you is that the first thing you should do is start learning the language, the Lithuanian language. And then some sectors are also limited. And like some roles you just can't get in. Because of the language barrier, of course, they require people that can speak Lithuanian. And some jobs or some roles cannot actually give you the temporary residence permit. These days, they are really making the whole thing very difficult. Yeah, excuse me a little, okay? I'm having a dry throat. Mm. Yeah, so most people really get surprised when they realize that they have to know the language to be able to fit into the work environment properly. But that's the reality. And another thing is that for most people, when they come here, they expect that people would immediately acknowledge their degree from back home and treat them like kings, give them the most high paid job. Like it's not really like that. You have come here. Sometimes your foreign degree, no one even looks at it. Me, all the jobs I've worked in before, no one ever asked for my degree. No, all they focused on was my skills. So you should know this as well. And then there is the culture. Yeah, the culture is really something as well. The culture, Lithuanians are very, very, very reserved. Like my first role, I was a student by then. You literally go to the office all day and no one talks to you. Not because they hate you or because you are black or anything. No, it's just the way they are. They are not like very, very outgoing. They want you to make the first step. And even if you try to talk to them first, they still hold back a little. So there is that. And they are usually very direct. If they want to say something, they will not go around the bush. They will not beat around the bush. They'll just tell you as it is. And punctuality. Lithuanians are like they take their time very seriously. Just like today, for example, I think the weather is like minus 11. So if you have to meet someone at 5 o'clock at a bus stop and you make the person stand there at 5 o'clock to wait for you and you arrive at 5:10, how do you think the person would take it? I guess the person will be very angry, right? Yeah. So Lithuanians are very, very punctual. Know this as well. And the weather, I just told you about the weather, right? Today, if I don't really have to go do something out there, there is no way I will go out there because it's extremely Lithuania can get extremely cold. The winters are very long, like even though they say it's like four seasons, but for me as a Ghanaian, my winter starts in autumn and ends in spring. That's the way it is for me. The skies are mostly very gray, you barely see the sun. And the way you even feel, so when you are coming, just make sure, yeah, that when you bring your clothes back home, most times it doesn't really help. So I always say that bring a little, but come and buy the rest of it here. And there is this other thing, vitamin D. So in Africa we get a lot of sun, and the sun gives us vitamin D. But when we come here, because there is no sun, we lack it, we become deficient. And this deficiency causes mood swings, and like most of us gets really, really sad, very moody. So just prepare for this. When you come here, make sure that you don't play with your vitamin D. And then loneliness. Like I have an African store. Most Africans come there and just tell me how lonely they feel. You came here all alone. Like you don't have the people you grew up with. You don't have your parents. You don't have your family. You don't have anyone. So, and Lithuanians are not very, very outgoing. Just you see, you would definitely feel lonely. But it doesn't mean that there are no communities. There are communities. There are events. I think that most people feel lonely because they want to feel lonely. Because like let's assume I'm lonely and you're lonely. We can hang out, right? So there are always ways to go around things. Cost of living. Yeah, someone mentioned cost of living in the comments. I don't want to go through all of that. So let's now move to cost of living. Lithuania is not the cheapest country in Europe, and it's also not the most expensive country. I think that what matters is planning. Yeah. When I came here, things were very cheap. But these days, things are getting expensive. It still doesn't mean that the little you have will not be enough for you. Like, I think it's not about how much you make, it's about how you plan it and how you spend it. When I came and I was a student, my job was paying me 500 euros a month. Then I moved out of the student house to rent a place of my own with the utilities and everything. I was paying 300 euros a month. So at the end of the month, I had 200 euros to like not to spare 200 euros. So from this 200 euros, I had to take transportation. I had to feed myself. I'm a woman, right? I had to spend on myself as well. So amidst all of that, I was still able to save some money from it. So you see, I can only tell you that it's not about how much you earn. It's about how you plan. It's all about planning. When I came, like I didn't really know how to make money, so I only relied on my 500 euros. But there are like people here that are doing like multiple things and making a lot of money. This 500 euros I mentioned, I don't want you guys to conclude that Lithuania pays 500 euros. No, like that was like 5 years ago. Now things have literally salaries have increased, so it's it's a different story. I'm just telling you my experience from when I was a student. And like I said before, all these things I've told you, I am not telling you to scare you. I'm telling you so that you'll be informed and then you can plan properly. If Lithuania is bad, why am I here? If Europe is so bad, why a lot of Africans in Europe? Why are they doing well? So me, like I will never idolize one continent over the other. I will not sit here and say that Europe is better than Africa or Africa is better than Europe. But then it all depends on you. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on your dreams, where you see yourself in the upcoming few years, where you see your opportunities. So Europe is good. Africa is also good. It all depends on what you want to do. These things I've just told you, the challenges. It's not to scare you at all. It's not to say that Lithuania is bad. No, Lithuania is extremely good. Lithuania has its upsides. But I am intentionally telling you the challenges so that if you decide to come, you will know how to prepare to come. All right, now let's move on to the questions that you guys submitted. I'll try to answer them. Okay, I noticed that most of you submitted similar questions, so I'll answer them together. Okay, I just grouped them and I will try to answer them according to the groups. Okay, so first we have which route is best for me? Like all those people that asked this question, this is how I understood it. Some like you asked with so many words, but I understood that you are asking which route is good for you. I think the answer depends on your background, your education and skills, and the timeline. Then your long term plan. It all depends on that. Because, for example, if you have a strong academic qualification in France, then the study route will make sense, right? And if you have a skill that is in demand and you can secure a job offer, then maybe the job offer or the work permit route is suitable for you. And if you have capital and a business plan, then maybe self-employment or business is the one for you. Or if you are married or you are legally connected to somebody in Lithuania, then maybe family reunification is what is for you. And if you are skilled in certain professionals, like, oh, sorry, certain profession, then maybe the EU blue card is what you should go with. So every situation is different. Everyone's background is different. It all depends on you, or like I said before, your background, your skills, how much money you have, your long-term plan. It all depends on those things. Yeah. Let's assume that. mm, let's assume I don't even know what example to give right now. Okay, let's say you are a student. Yeah, you are in Ghana or Nigeria. You are a bachelor's degree. I'm sorry if there are other nationalities here and I'm not mentioning you. I'm sorry. It's just that there are a lot of, like, from the forms, the answers I got from the forms, there are a lot of Nigerians and Ghanaians. So that's why I'm mostly saying Ghanaians and Nigerians. So let's assume you are a bachelor's degree student in Ghana and you say you want to come to Lithuania and you don't have money. How do you think you can do that? See? And let's assume that you are still a student, you have no skills at all, but you want to come and work. What work are you coming to do? What skills do you have? How who would employ you to give you the actual documents to work here? So you see, it all depends on your background and those things I've already mentioned. I hope I've answered that question. The group two also asked about jobs and work permits. Ha. Hmm. This also. Okay, so this is one of the most misunderstood areas, right? Lithuania does not operate on come and look for a job system, especially for non-EU nationals. For we Africans, let me just, since we are Africans, it does not operate on, oh, come to Lithuania and look for a job. Like, come on. Their citizens are even looking for jobs. So why do you think they'll give you documents or they'll give you TRP to come here now look for a job? It doesn't work that way. I said it earlier and I'll repeat it again. You need an actual job. You need an employer who is willing to employ a non-EU national, an employer who is willing to go through all the documentation to make sure that they will bring you here. There's another thing you must know. Before the employer even like employs you or gives you the work permit, the work contract, they must prove that they cannot easily fill the role locally. Like, for example, which role? Let's say they are looking for somebody who. Now that I'm looking for something in my mind, I can't think of anything. Okay, let's assume that they're looking for a programmer, or you are a programmer and the employer wants to employ you. He has to prove that he cannot fill that role locally. He cannot get anyone in Lithuania or in the EU to fill that role before he can employ you and give you the work contract. So do you understand? That is why it's mostly difficult for low skill jobs to give you permit, because come on, if you put cleaning job out there, everyone will just apply. Everyone is qualified enough to be a cleaner. So you see, yeah. The work thing, I know that is what most of you want to come and do, but this is the reality of the situation. But I will not discourage you that it's not possible to get a company here that will be willing to employ you. Like if you joined from earlier, you know that I already said I know someone who came here on work permits, brought his wife, and now they're living here like very comfortably. So it's doable. But this is also the reality. You need to know this reality. Mhm. Uh, we are back to group three. So the third question that was asked the most is cost of living. Give me a moment to read some of these questions. Mm, okay. Yeah, like I said before, I'll answer these questions a bit later, okay? Just let me finish with these ones first. I'm actually losing my voice. I don't know how to talk for a long time. So the cost of living and survival. I already said that before. It was in my presentation, but because you've asked so much, I want to say it again and I want it to sink in that it's it depends less on how much you earn and more on how much you plan or how you spend it. And also the cost of living, I noticed that for most Africans, when they come here, they want to maintain a certain lifestyle. They want people to think that like they are rich, they try to live so lavishly, but then the amount they get at the end of the month cannot sustain that kind of lifestyle. So when you come here, and like I already said before, it's difficult to get a job, right? Okay, let me give you this tip. When you come here, it's difficult to get a job. If you don't come on the work permit and you come on student visa, it's difficult to get a job. So when you come and you are struggling to get a job, don't look for something that is fancy. You can look for something. What word would I use? Something not too fancy. Mm? For example, cleaning. Uh, I know a lot of Africans say that do the cleaning, they clean the snow, they clean offices, they do those things. Both food, right? You can do those things for the time, for the meantime, until you get an actual job. So when you are doing those things and then you are getting those small money, you don't need to prove to anyone that look at me, I'm rich. Who cares? Like no one knows you here. The people you grew up with are not even in Lithuania. So if you are wearing not nice clothes, if whatever you are eating, who cares? You like the first few months is just for you to settle in, for you to find your way around things. So this is what I have to tell you about the cost of living. But realistically, I know you want a number. I know you want a number. If you don't live a very lavish lifestyle, I think that 500 euros a month should be okay for you. Hmm? Okay. Because the cost of living, the thing that takes money the most is your accommodation. But you can live in a student house if you're a student. If you're a worker, you can look for something cheap like maybe 250 a month. Or you can even look for something that is like 550 a month and then share with somebody. So at the end of the month, even though it's 550 euros, but you are sharing it with someone, you're not taking everything all by yourself. Yeah, so the accommodation takes the most money, and then there are things like bus, food, what else? The transportation is very cheap in Lithuania. When I was a student, I paid 5 euros, 5 euros 80 cents a month, and I could ride a bus anywhere I wanted to ride. So that is very cheap. And food used to be very, very affordable. These days, not very much, but still very, very affordable. When I was a student, I spent, I'm even shy to say this, but I spent 10 euros a month on food. You guys, you don't you don't know. So that's like 40 euros a month. I didn't eat breakfast at home. I was working. So when I went to office, I mostly ate from the office, like the snacks at the office. That's what I ate for breakfast. So yeah, the cost of living, it all depends on you. Okay, I don't want to go into details. Just know this, it depends on you. Yeah, and there is another thing, the timelines. Group 4, I saw a lot of questions coming in about timelines. But then again, I saw that I asked when you guys were planning to move. I saw that most of you were planning to move this year, others next year, others you don't even know, you are still thinking about it. So, what do you expect me to tell you? Oh, someone is asking me what I ate. I'll tell you. I'll try to answer these questions very quick a bit later. Yeah, so the timeline, just don't rush, okay? Don't rush. Don't rush. I know that some of you, let me say my language, like in my language, we say, like, "Oponko pentem." Some of you are really in a hurry. You want to leave Africa so bad. I get it. I get you. But don't rush, okay? Take your time. Plan well, like, plan very well before you move. Just because you want to move so bad doesn't mean you should make the wrong decisions. Yeah. This is all I have to tell you. So the timeline, okay, let's assume you get this from the time, let's assume you are coming on the student route. So from the time you get the school, you get admitted until the time you arrive in Lithuania. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. It's like maybe 6 months because you have to apply. They would now admit you. Then you have to pay school fees and you have to go through the whole TRP process. So yeah, by TRP I mean temporary residence permit. Visa, just think of it as visa for those of you that it may be difficult for you to comprehend. So visa. So for the students route, let's assume it's like 6 months. But then again, if you are not a student and you don't really have any skills, but you want to come, shouldn't you take your time to maybe acquire some skills before you come? Mm? So the timeline, I can't really give you an exact figure. It depends on you, your situation, your background, what you want to do, your long-term goals. That's all. Okay, so it's been almost 1 hour. Yep. And now I know that at this point, most of you still have a lot of questions. Like you want personalized guidance, like not general information. You just want specific advice based on your own situation. So I offer like 3 levels of support. These things like okay, so let me I don't know how to put it. I think I left a comment here. Let me check in the comments. The first comment, I will pin it. So this is my WhatsApp channel. I pinned it in the chat. Anyone here who is not in my WhatsApp channel can join. Over there, I share information, updates, and my offers, blah blah blah. So join and like I offer 3 levels of support. There is the guide, like I literally wrote a guide, a PDF guide, explaining all the steps you need to take to come to Lithuania. Everybody like the relocation steps for each situation. So there is that guide. And then I also offer personalized consultation. So we can have one-on-one consultation. And then the third one is the relocation package. For that is like on a deeper level. So we will literally assess your situation and we will get to decide on which route will work best for you if you want to relocate to Lithuania and how we can handle it like from the start to the end until you come to Lithuania, until you settle into your apartment, We will help you to find a job, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, there is that offer as well. So, these are the three offers that I have for you. But first, you must join my WhatsApp channel because that's where I share everything. And you can also follow me on social media like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even this YouTube. Yeah, you can follow me here. So, guys, yeah, hey, if you've not joined my WhatsApp channel, you should join it now. Okay, so thank you so much for your attention and respect today. I just want to conclude by saying that relocation itself is a very, very serious decision. So you should do it informed, you should do it legally, and you should do it with clarity. The WhatsApp channel, you should join. Okay, so now I want to try to answer the questions that you've left here really quick. Uh-huh. Oh, thank you, Greta. Wait, are there study and pay later options or study loans? Oh, okay. So you are not EU citizen. Who will give you loan? Yes, yeah. There are situations that you could get loan, but mostly they give loans to people that have permanent permits because they need assurance that you pay back the loan that you are taking. Right? If they give you the loan, and I'm sorry, guys, like I said before, I cannot talk for so long. Begin to have this thing. Yeah. So if they give you the loan, what is the assurance that you pay back the loan? That's why they give it to people that already have like permanent permits or are citizens of or like are EU citizens. So that's it. If you're looking for loan, maybe you should look for it in Africa, not in EU. For EU, you have to be here. I mean, especially in Lithuania, you have to be here for at least 5 years before you can before your chances of getting the loan will be high. Mm. Oh, someone is asking if I'm here, if are we here for you to be telling us not to come to Europe or tell us how to come, how we can come in legally. Please focus and go straight to the point. Okay, if I'm not focused enough and if you are not enjoying it, I'm not forcing anyone to be here. I'm doing this for free to help anyone that wants to listen to my knowledge. So if it's not your expectations, you can just leave. It's that simple, right? You're not paying me to do this. I'm doing it because I want to do it, and I'm doing it based on the data I've gathered from the questions I put out there. Okay. During question time, can we know the cost and time process of UAB, TRP, and migrants? Yeah, so the time I told you before, the time depends on your situation. But typically, if you are a student, let's assume this is the ideal scenario. You want to come to study, you have the money. It's going to take like 6 months. Yeah, 6 months max. You should be here. I'm just guessing. Let me make this very clear. This I'm just guessing because there are also situations where you could apply for the TRP and it will be rejected, right? There are situations where you apply to the school and you will not be admitted. So this is like approximate, and I'm just giving you an approximate number. So 6 months. But it's also possible to do everything within 3 or 2 months, depending on when you apply for the school and how fast you do your things. So you are telling me Faith says she wants to come to Lithuania, but she had this there's better yeah, so the jobs thing is difficult to get jobs, but we are working. The Africans here working. So if it is very difficult, then how are we working? It's not easy to get it even for EU citizens, but it's doable. It's possible to get it. Don't lose hope at all. I don't want to sit here and like tell you leave Africa, leave Africa. But then again, I don't want to tell you that it is not possible. Like there are no opportunities here. There are a lot of opportunities here. Okay, so it's possible to get here, to come here and get a job. It's very, very possible. If it is not possible, some of us here will not be working, so it's possible, but it's not easy. Yeah, you can study nursing here. Kwabina is asking if you can study nursing here. Yes, you can study nursing here. Thank you for this. Ma, please give me updates on school fees for nursing and ways. So the school fees thing too, it depends on the school. Private school, just like in Africa, private schools are more expensive and public schools are less expensive or much cheaper. I paid when I was a student, I paid 2,200 for the whole year, 2,200 euros for the whole year. But things have gotten more expensive now. Now people are paying anywhere between 2,800 to 10,000. So it's anywhere between 2,800 to 10,000, depending on the school, the program you are doing, and your level of education. Yeah, so it's like that. Yeah, you can study nursing here. Oh, I think I've already answered this question. Um, mm, Sorry, okay, I'm trying to figure out where I've got into with the questions. Um, so the study thing, you asked me to focus on it. I guess all of my examples, or most of my examples, revolved around the studies, right? Okay, thank you so much. Um, mm, I cannot pronounce it, so thank you. I think you could focus on the. What other documents do you need? So what other you need like I when I was giving examples, I mentioned it's like broadly. Aside the purpose document, you need things like the mm, the medical insurance thing, like medical insurance document. You need proof of funds. It's also very important. You need criminal clearance. You need travel itinerary. That one is very difficult. Sorry, easy to get. Yeah, so just these basic things. But the most important one is the purpose document. Okay, so schools that are around 3,000 euros, like mostly like KTU, MRU, SMK. Yeah, those ones. 3,000 Schubert, Vilnius University, those ones. What is the meaning of EU? Yeah, so EU blue card. So the EU blue card, it's literally a card like just like TRP or visa, but then it's given to highly skilled professionals. So that's the EU blue card. Study and pay. Yeah, I think I already answered this question. Study and pay later options. And where am I right now? Oh, students from Cameroon, how do we go about it, especially on obtaining? It's the same thing for everyone. Students from Cameroon, like Africa is Africa. So you just need to get the school and get admitted. Then get like book appointment with the migration department. An appointment, they attend it, get your TRP and come. It's the same for everyone. What do you eat? I think this person asked this question when I told you about how much I spent a month. Like, I mostly ate rice. I ate rice. Meat here is quite affordable, so I ate rice and stew with meat. Most chicken. Chicken was affordable, so yeah, I ate chicken. And eggs, a lot of eggs. I already answered these questions. Are there study and pay later options or study loans? So the first day you have to pay everything, but later you can pay in installment. Mm, Vocational study opportunity, yeah, most schools offer it. Yeah, because even at schools like Vilnius University College, yes, you can get vocational study opportunities. This study and pay later thing, I think I've already answered it. talk more on not nursing. I don't know exactly why you want me to talk about nursing, but yeah, there's like even SMK, school like SMK offers nursing programs. So the unification, yeah. So as long as you can prove that the child is yours, high hopes, high hopers. I'm talking to you now. As long as you can prove that a child is yours, you have their birth certificate, then yeah, you can bring them. It's no big deal. Most of the institutions' application is very high. I don't know what you mean by application is very high. Do you mean the application fee? What's the chance once we meet? Once you meet the requirement, chances of you getting the TRP approved is like 98%, 99%. Mostly they give it if you meet all the requirements. I did a bachelor's degree in the beginning. I'm a computer science student, so that's what I did. PhD. Yeah, PhD. Most of the PhD students I know over here, they are on scholarship because PhD here is very expensive. So most of them are on scholarship. They get a scholarship from Africa, and they come here with it. That's it. So someone says I skipped a question. Unfortunately, I don't know which question I skipped, and I'm really losing my voice right now. But I think that I've answered most of your questions. So, like I said before, it's a real pleasure that today I got to share the little knowledge I have. I got to share with you, and I hope we can connect more on other platforms. So, guys, have a very good evening. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on my WhatsApp channel. Bye. I don't know how to end this thing. Yep.